Hey, what's good, everybody? This is Adnan, AD in the clutch, and today I want to talk about the Minnesota Timberwolves with what's going on recently with their recent transaction with Naz Reid, 3-year, $42 million contract. And I saw an interesting article that said now between the three centers in Karl-Anthony Towns, Rudy Gobert, and now Naz Reid, they spent over $400 million in total contracts between these three guys, and I'm like, I don't understand. Like, this doesn't make sense to me. Like, yeah, they made the playoffs, but like they were bounced out to the eventual champion, to the Nuggets, and like I just really don't see like what direction the Timberwolves are. Are they an offensive power team? Are they a defensive team? Because last year they were ranked 15th, but I just don't see an identity with this team. Like, I feel like Anthony Edwards, I feel like he should be the main star of the team, but it's Karl-Anthony Towns. But Towns is not really known as a great tough defender, and so it's like, what are they trying to do? Are they trying to be flashy, or are they trying to be aggressive on defense? That's why they traded Rudy Gobert, but it hasn't fully worked out, yet from what I see. So, in my opinion, if Minnesota is serious about trying to go for a championship and be perennial threats for the long-term future. I know this may upset some Wolves fans, but we've already seen enough of Karl-Anthony Towns that he's just not the guy to lead to a championship, at least not as the number one option. So, in my opinion, I would build around Anthony Edwards and I know it sounds shocking, but I would trade Karl-Anthony Towns and get the most value out of him while he's still productive, while he's still a big name. Trade him to a team that's selling, that could use some major assets. I would try to trade for some depth. I would try to get Pascal Siakam. If I would, somehow in the middle of the season, if things don't work out in Memphis between Marcus Smart, I would try to target him in a trade. And but worst case scenario, this team, they need an identity. Like, what are they known as? In my opinion, I would go to defensive route because the Miami Heat, for example, they have been known as a great defensive team, and it carried them through the finals through their zone defense. And so I would try to take advantage of that while I'm at it, and build guys, get defensive studs. If I'm Minnesota, I would try to go all in on Draymond Green. That he's a pending free agent and he's possibly leaving the Warriors. So I would throw everything I can to get Draymond Green, just to get an enforcer, a locker room leader, to build a defensive culture. He's an NBA champion, so a lot of the guys will respect him, especially coming from the Warriors, who murdered the league, for a good 4 to 7 years. So I do believe that I would try to get Draymond Green as a culture setter. And if he can get that team to the second or even the conference finals, I think Draymond can be able to prove his critics wrong. So, and also you can have a lot more assets and more depth, because they have a good team, in my opinion, with Anthony Edwards, Jalen Noel, Naz Reid, Rudy Gobert, if they want to keep him. They have Jaden McDaniels, they have a good squad, they have people to build around, they have some depth, but I feel like they lack an identity, a clear direction where they need to go. So, I would try to shed as much money as possible, because especially with the new CBA coming up, I feel like Minnesota could be screwed over. So, the best bet is probably get rid of Karl-Anthony Towns, trade him while you can, because this team, really needs something. If they want to compete with Denver, with LA, the Lakers and the Clippers, if they want to compete with Phoenix, they need an identity. They need to stick to it, and they need to be tough all around. Because how are they going to guard all these big guys or all these star players? If all they're doing is just playing a bunch of points. We saw Kevin Durant with the Brooklyn Nets. They score about 200 points basically, but the other team will score 210. Obviously it's an exaggeration, but you get the point. So I believe that the Timberwolves, if they want to be serious contenders, should build around defense, get Draymond Green, try to get Marcus Smart if things don't work out in Memphis, and just build a culture around them, and have Anthony Edwards as your main guy, your number one option, because he has that drive, he has that hunger, he can compete, and he is the true future of the Timberwolves. We don't want this to be another Kevin Garnett situation where, like, Kevin Garnett was amazing for the Wolves, but like they never really got a championship out of it. So, and nobody wants to waste their prime, So I do believe they should go all in, go all defense and have Anthony Edwards as your main guy. And speaking of Kevin Garnett, why not? Try to bring him in as an advisor, or even if that doesn't work, give him part ownership like he's been wanting, so that he can like set a culture, because he's Minnesota's greatest player of all time. So I do believe there should be a set culture change, very similar to like I said with the Miami Heat with Alonzo Mourning, how he's been a great role model and example, involved in the organization. The Lakers for many years with Jerry West and Magic Johnson. The Timberwolves could use a guy in Kevin Garnett, who better, because the guy who loves Minnesota, who played for most of his career there. I believe if Minnesota can have that one role player, that mentor, to guide these guys, and embrace, the city of Minneapolis. I'm sorry. I believe this can be something that can set them up for success for years to come. So, yeah. So thank you all so much. Please like and subscribe, and thank you all, and God bless.